Listen Up is a really moving episode of Arthur. This is the first segment in the third episode, the penultimate episode of the 25th season. And in this one, a character dies. And I'll talk about who it is in a moment. I don't want to spoil it, but the character dies. And, well, it's hard to talk about without saying who it is. So it's all about how to treat a friend or how not to treat a friend if somebody in their life passes away. There are certain things that you probably shouldn't do and certain things that are more beneficial for them. And that's all I can really say without spoiling who dies. So I guess spoilers from now. Francine's Bubby dies. And honestly, I thought that was, not something I'd expected. And she's a wonderful character. Of course, with only 1.5 episodes left, I wasn't expecting her to ever appear again. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have her in one last episode. And the actual revealing of the death, the funeral, all of that's over in a couple of minutes of the episode. The bulk of the episode is about Francine coming back from Florida after the funeral and Muffy trying too hard to make Francine feel better. Occasionally, Francine will start to talk about her memories of Bubby, and Muffy tells her to just talk about something happy, and she tries to do all of these other things that she thinks will help. But they're things for Muffy, not things for Francine, and it's so clear that all Francine wants to do is have one-on-one time with a friend, talk about her memories, and just experience the grief in a way that's, a lot healthier than bottling it up, which is what Muffy is trying to get her to do. I will say Muffy was exceptionally annoying in this episode. It's rare that, sometimes she'll be annoying, but it's not annoying to watch. But she was definitely annoying to watch in this episode. Every 2 seconds she was interrupting people. She was interrupting Francine, she was interrupting George, and it got a little bit too much, and they milked that for a lot more than it was worth. But certainly it got the message home that you really should listen if you're trying to help somebody. Don't just do what you think you would want in that situation, particularly if that person is trying to reach out and tell you what they need. Obviously, if a young person has a friend who goes through a death in the family or a close family friend, knowing how to treat that friend can be quite difficult. Even as an adult, if somebody you know is going through a difficult time with a bereavement, it's hard to know how to approach it. Do they want to talk about that person? Do they want to, grieve in their own space, but when they're around you, try and take their mind off of it? And there's only one way to find out how to best handle that situation. Ask them what they need, because only they know how they are going to best deal with this grief. And the episode does a fantastic job of really getting that message home. Obviously, I'm sad that they decided to kill off Bubby, but I'm glad that they waited until the penultimate episode, because, if it was sooner, we might not have got as much of her, and that would have been a shame. Definitely a really important message, I think, and while I hope it's not something that a lot of children will have to deal with, for those that unfortunately do, I think it can provide a pretty decent lesson. And Muffy's annoying habits aside, it was a really, really pleasant episode to watch.